Hello, right now it is June 14th and it is 1:22 p.m. I had to make this video right now today to let the viewers know about the fact that basically law enforcement's trick right now has been caught for the second time. Basically, the entire year of 2025, law enforcement found absolutely nothing against me, due to which they lost over and over again. Their biggest loss was on the 9th of June 28, 2025. After which, on June 29, 2025, my dad, the greedy framer, was begging me to talk to him all day long. Law enforcement was trying to get me to make illegal assurances of money with them using bank transfer ads, money transfer ads, and we know for a fact that my dad, the greedy framer, wanted the same exact thing as law enforcement. Illegal assurances of money, since he's not even a licensed doctor, and right now all he's doing is using this court case to get his gambling thrill. He basically wants money. He was blackmailing me with price tags of millions of euros starting February 17 at 3:02 a.m. He asked me 19 times on the morning of February 19th for an 8.9 million euro mansion, harassing me in order to force me to make illegal assurances of money with him, out of which I will not give a single penny to anyone. These people know all about my brain savant. And basically, by July 1st, 2023, when I came back from Saudi Arabia, everyone in the entire city knew about my brain savant. Law enforcement had already known about it, and now everyone knew about it in this entire city. I would go to a Target store and people would stop in front of me to try to check to see if I was admiring their faces or not. It was only about time before it was absolutely clear that these people all knew about my brain savant, something I had not told one person about. I was watched 24/7. You can ask law enforcement that one person I told about my brain savant before August 25th, 2023. There was not one person, not one soul I told about my brain savant before August 25th, 2023. So then how did all these people know? Law enforcement had a brain scanner, due to which they found out themselves. And then they told everyone the truth about my brain savant, something they argue every time they get extremely envious about it due to the attention that they themselves raise. The thing that I have to talk about in this video is the fact that law enforcement has been caught for the second time playing this trick where they get some relative from the family claiming that they have witnessed me commit a crime. The first group of relatives that law enforcement tried this with was my dad, the greedy framer, and he begged his sisters to fabricate a false testimony against me on November 20th, 2025. They did this and then they got caught. His framer sisters were caught on the witness stand lying. And after this occurred, what happened was his framer sisters, out of extreme envy, tried to argue in court over and over again that they really did witness me commit the crime, only for them to get laughed at every time they would go to court, due to which they realized that obviously the government informant had to be the person who handed them the fabrication material. It was because of this that my dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters switched from extreme envy of trying to lock up my brain savant to extreme greed. On March 9th, 2026, my dad, the greedy framer's sister, the spokesperson's mother, tried to get me to force me to marry her weirdo daughter 3 times on one morning, on the morning of March 9th, 2026. The evidence is with law enforcement, since she asked law enforcement to ask me, and all the evidence will be right there with them. Except for this, Farah, the greedy framer, also asked law enforcement to ask if I was willing to marry her daughter on March 9th, 2026, along with April 6th, 2026. April 6, 2026, I got so annoyed that I ended up texting Farah, the greedy framer, letting her know that I was not interested in marrying her daughter and that she should not be sending me these requests through law enforcement. On March 9, 2026, the recent spokesperson's mother was asking me to marry her daughter. March 7, 2026, Farah, the greedy framer, sending me porn star's picture with her name Farah written on it for Sunny Leone 3 times on March 7, 2026. And on March 10th, 2026, and every single day afterwards, offering the greedy framer, the ugly old big fat sister of my dad, the greedy framer, sending me a sexually explicit picture of someone resembling her. on March 10th, 2026, and every single day afterwards. Except for this, my dad, the disgusting, perverted freak, tried on March 12th by asking law enforcement to ask me if I was willing to sleep with his ugly old wife with his big beaver teeth, like disgusting, ugly, old. I was just like, no, thank you. The reason these people, my dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters, and all the evidence for everything I said is with law enforcement. You can just ask them and they will provide it for you. Every single, the reason these people moved from extreme envy of trying to lock up my brain savant to extreme greed was simply due to the fact that they realized that the government informant had to be the person who handed them the fabrication material. And if that was the government informant, well, then they had also confessed to the government informant about the fact that what they were trying to argue against me in early March 2026 was also complete total lie, that they had confessed to the government informant as being a complete and total lie. This means that these people moved from extreme envy of trying to lock up my brain savant. But as soon as they found out that the government informant was the person handing them the fabrication material, they moved from extreme envy to extreme greed of trying to get me to commit incest, marry their daughters, and even my dad, the greedy framer, asking law enforcement on March 12th if I was willing to fulfill his disgusting sexual perversions of sleeping with his disgusting, ugly looking wife. After I obviously disagreed to all these disgusting requests, these people, my dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters, moved on to enviously trying to lock up my brain savant. This time, my dad had to be really aggressive, and he was like, no, what I'm saying this time is true. You have to believe me. You can't just not believe me. You have to believe me. So this time was the third time. The first time was November 20th, 2025. My dad did this thing where he created mass panic and chaos, due to which the government had to put aside their vaccine issues at the time to deal with the false testimony that my dad, the greedy framer, had made against me through his framer sisters, only to be able to lock up my brain savant so no one could profit off of it, mainly my mother, that he could not get the money. The second time were early March 2026, when my dad, the greedy framer, tried to push more lies against me. All of these, obviously, as soon as they realized that the government informant had to be the person handing them the fabrication material, they stopped. And the reason they stopped was because they realized that they had already confessed to these statements as being lies to that government informant. If that was the government informant, and it had to be, since every single time my dad's framer sisters would try to go over to court again, claiming that they really did witness me commit the crime from November 20th, the courts would laugh at them. So they realized that this had to be the government informant. The third time, my dad, the greedy framer, tried to make false testimonies and lies against me. He made it very aggressively. He was like, no, I'm telling the truth this time. You guys are not taking my statements. He did it very aggressively. Harassed the courts very aggressively because he knew that this was the only option he had to be very aggressive against the court to make sure that there was no way that my brain savant could get freed. Seeing that I knew about all the false testimonies he made, and seeing that there was no way I'm going to fall for these disgusting, weird incest requests that he sent through law enforcement. So you could ask law enforcement, they will tell you that I'm telling the truth on that. So now the only option he had, other than being forced to watch from the side, me and my mother profit off of my brain savant money, which is very extraordinary, is he had to make false testimonies very aggressively and force the courts to take it this time. The courts did take it, and they were played for a fool for the third time. He pushed his lies very aggressively again, and the courts took these lies until they were forced to retrieve every single phone conversation, only to find out that these were absolute, complete, total lies all over again. And yet the spokesperson and his framer sisters were all pushing these lies very aggressively, which means that these people, my dad, the greedy framer, and his framer sisters, now have absolutely no talking points because they cannot claim that they witnessed me commit any crimes, considering the fact that